What's up, everybody? Josie here, and if you can tell by my T-shirt, I'm about to go watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But before I do, I just want to share my expectations and what I'm looking forward to this in this movie. And basically, I'm really excited for this one. The first movie I really enjoyed a lot, actually, and it was mostly due to the cast and the way the characters interacted with each other. It was just, it's probably one of the funniest movies Marvel has done, and yeah, I think that's the strength of it, just the characters. The first one suffered from villain problems, I guess. Although to me personally, I would watch a movie with just these guys sitting down at a table and just talking crap to each other. Like I'll literally would sit through a 2 hour movie of just them doing that. So for me, in this particular movie, I do not care about the villain as long as the interactions are good with between the hero characters. And honestly, I do not know who the villain of this new one is. I haven't been keeping up with reviews, so I don't know what the general public thinks. So I'm really going in like blind, I guess, or without knowing much. The first one of the few issues I had with the first movie was some of the action scenes just didn't seem right, or they were a bit off. So I'm hoping this one with James Gunn kind of getting the hang of things. I'm hoping this one the action scenes here are are done better than in the first one. But yeah, let's go watch it and let's see what happens. All right. So hang on, and I'll be back. So I just got out of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and yeah, it's hailing pretty loud. Look at the street. Now I live in the LA region, so this is not something I'm used to. uh, Hang on. There's ice all over my windshield. But let me go inside the house. I'll give you guys a review of the movie. Because I'm pretty sure nobody really cares about me being stuck inside my car. Okay, so now that the rain has stopped and the hail, I can finally talk without all the noise. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, you guys. I thought it was really fun, really exciting. However, I will say that the story and the plot is it makes sense, but it was way overboard and just too crazy, and it's just I feel like I don't know. It took me out of it. I was just like I wasn't digging the story and the overall plot like at all. However, I think this one has the same thing that the first one did, which is the strength with this cast and the characters. If it wasn't for these characters, and if you didn't like any of them, you would have a really hard time watching this movie because there's just so much stuff that's going on, and if you don't care, if you're not invested in these characters, you're just not gonna care. So fortunately, I was invested in these characters, and I just love them so much. I will say that the highlight of this movie and my favorite aspect of it was Nebula and Yondu. They were my favorite characters in this movie. And it's mostly because you get a lot more characterization. You learn more about them, and you feel more sympathy for them, and you're just like you feel like they're part of the team now, and I really want to see them in the future movies. You know, thought they worked really well. Drax, who was actually my favorite character of the first movie, I will say, I I think his character is just still so great. He's funny, but Yondu and Nebula just way above everybody else in my opinion, and that's mostly due to the fact that they got the best arcs. You learn a bit more about a Rocket, like his personal kind of like the reason why he's a dick, and that whole scene played out really good. Um, I think the weakest part, and maybe some people might disagree, and that's fine. But I think Star Lord was the weakest part of the movie. I felt like I did not care as much for his personal story arc with his dad, which is a bummer because that's kind of like the main theme about the movie, the whole storyline revolved around him meeting his dad, and honestly, I did not care. I cared more about what Yandu and Rocket Raccoon were going through, and Nebula and Gamora's arc. I cared more about that than I did with Peter Quill. Now, like I said, I haven't seen any other reviews, and after this video, I'm gonna check out and see what other critics are saying and what they think. But I feel like for me, Peter Quill's story was the weakest and just didn't work for me all that well. Mantis was a pretty cool inclusion. She doesn't get a whole bunch to do, and her role is minimal. But I really hope we see more of her because she has potential to be a pretty cool member just because of her being able to sense other people's feelings and whatnot. I think that's a pretty cool idea, and I'm hoping we could expand on that. Another thing I want to say, this movie has probably like the best Stan Lee cameo, or I don't know. I really like his cameo in this one. Hardcore comic fans are probably gonna go crazy over it. Yeah, so I don't want to spoil it. Just watch it. You're gonna love it. At least I think you're gonna love it. The special effects. I think everything was great. Visually, it's very colorful and it's pretty cool because a lot of times, a lot of science fiction movies suffer making or have a hard time making like alien planets look convincing, and this one, I think it succeeds for the most part. There are some shoddy like CGI moments where it just doesn't look too convincing. Like I feel they use a lot, and not in a bad way, but they're just doing so much that I feel like their budget was stretched thin. Um, but nonetheless, that there's a bunch, there's there's a lot of practical stuff too. So it's not just CGI. It's just the CGI they do use. It's a lot, and I feel like yeah, it was spread thin. But yeah, like I said, enjoyable movie, pretty fun, but the plot, I did not care. If you don't like these characters, I feel like you're not gonna like this movie at all. But I do recommend it. It also has a 5 post-credit stingers, which it isn't the first time a movie has done it, but it is kind of like the first Marvel that does these many post-credit things. And for the most part, none of them are significant except like one that kind of hints at maybe a sequel. But the rest are just fun little character moments. So yeah, watch those. It's fun, and yeah, let me know what you guys think about the movie. If you guys enjoyed it, or if you didn't, or if you disagree with me about the whole Peter Quill thing. I'm pretty curious to see what other people think. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, I'm back, you guys. Consider this the post credits thing. No, one thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention in the first part of the video was I did watch this in IMAX 3D, and I think if you have the extra money to spare, I think IMAX is the way to go, just because it's the whole space and the colors look pretty vibrant, and I feel like this movie kind of deserves a little more money, or if you have it, spend it like on a better theater with like a better screen. Don't cause I typically my movie theaters it's cheaper and the screens aren't always as good. They tend to be darker, but this time I went to a different one where it was IMAX, so the the colors were more vibrant, and yeah, just want to throw that in there because I think it's worth it if you spend the extra cash. And yeah, thanks. Bye.